Just because somebody else doesn't see your value doesn't mean you're worthless. And just because somebody else discards you doesn't mean you're garbage. People will overlook you. They'll talk over you, walk past you. They'll treat you like you're invisible. But here's the truth. Their opinion doesn't define your value. Your worth isn't decided by how loud you are, how popular you are, or how many people cheer you on. You were born worthy. That doesn't change just because the world forgot to clap for you. See, too many people spend their lives trying to earn what they already have. They chase approval. They bend, shrink, and twist themselves into shapes just to fit into someone else's frame. And still they feel empty. Why? Because deep down, they've started to believe the lie that if they don't see my value, maybe I don't have any. And that lie is poison, and it spreads. Because it shows up when you second guess your decisions, when you stop yourself from speaking up, when you stay in places that drain you, relationships that break you, or jobs that don't see you. All because you've been trained to believe that validation comes from the outside. It's from applause, from likes, from someone else saying you're enough. But you are enough, right now, as you are. Self-worth isn't about being perfect. It's not about having it all together. It's about recognizing that even in your struggle, even in your pain, you are valuable. You matter and you belong. But just so we understand, you won't always feel this way. There will be days when your self-esteem drops, when comparison creeps in, when someone says something that cuts deep and you start to question everything. That's normal. That's being human. But here's what you must remember. Feelings are temporary. Worth is not. You're not defined by who left you, who hurt you, who overlooked you. You're not defined by your lowest moments, your worst mistakes, or the things you regret. You are bigger than that, deeper than that, brighter than that. Start reclaiming your worth. Stop waiting for others to tell you who you are. And start reminding yourself of your strengths, your resilience. The fact that you've survived 100% of your worst days and you're still here, that alone is power. Surround yourself with people who lift you, who speak life into you, who see your light even when you forget you have one. And most of all, do the work. Build yourself up one day, one habit, one win at a time. Keep promises you've made to yourself. Take care of your body, invest in your growth, and forgive yourself for the past. That's self-worth in action. Don't let the noise of the world drown out your truth. Don't let rejection write your story. Don't let someone's inability to see your value trick you into thinking that you have none. You're not here to be small. You're not here to please everyone. You're not here to earn love. You're here to live, to grow, and to rise. Remember this, their blindness doesn't take away your beauty. Their silence doesn't erase your voice. And their ignorance doesn't cancel your value. You are worthy, fully, deeply, unquestionably, whether they see it or not. And the moment you start believing in your worth, the world starts catching up. Let this be your reminder. Right now, there's a clock ticking. You can't hear it, but it's there. Time is passing moment by moment, second by second. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not promised. All you have is today. Yet how often do we live as if we have forever? We postpone our happiness, telling ourselves that one day I'll take that risk. One day I'll chase my dream. One day I'll finally be happy. But what if one day never comes? What if the opportunity you're waiting for isn't waiting for you? What if the love you keep pushing away doesn't wait until you're ready? What if the time you think you have isn't guaranteed? Today is the only thing you own. It's the only thing that's real. Stop waiting to live. So many people spend their lives waiting for the right moment, waiting for confidence, waiting for someone to give them permission to be happy. But happiness isn't a destination. Confidence isn't something you find. It's something you build. And the right moment? It isn't coming. The right moment is now. If you have something to say, say it. If you have a dream, start it. If you love someone, tell them. Because regret is heavier than failure, and waiting is just another form of fear. So focus on what matters. Look around. Look at the people in your life. Look at the blessings you have right now. Because one day these moments will be memories. And you don't want to look back and realize you were too busy chasing more to appreciate what was already in front of you. Make the phone call. Hold the hug a little longer. Be present. Because life isn't measured in money or titles or things. It's measured in moments. Let go of yesterday and stop fearing tomorrow. The past, it's over. You can't change it. So why let it control you? The mistakes, the failures, the pain, they were lessons, not life sentences. And the future? Worrying about it won't give you control. It won't protect you from disappointment. It will only rob you of the one thing you do have, right now. Choose to live fully. At the end of your life, you won't care how many likes you got on a post. You won't care how much money was in your bank account. You'll care about the love you gave, the risks you took, the moments you were truly alive. So be alive now. Be bold. Be present. Be grateful. Because the clock is ticking, not as a warning, but as a reminder. All you have is today, and that's more than enough if you make it count. Whenever I find myself overwhelmed, anxious, or just run down, one of the ways I find peace is to wander through nature. I slip on my shoes, fill my backpack with snacks and water, then head out for an hour or the day. There's something about breaking up the routine and connecting with nature that soothes my soul. It's my time. It's for me. And it's what I need. Now, whether it's nature or just in your own space, I strongly recommend you get lost so you can find yourself again. In a world that never stops moving, we forget to pause. We forget to step away. We forget that sometimes the only way to truly move forward is to first step back. You've been running, chasing your goals, meeting deadlines, answering messages, showing up for everyone but yourself. And somewhere in the chaos, you lost touch with you. There are days you feel it, don't you? That nagging sense that something's missing. That voice deep inside whispering, this isn't it. This isn't who I am. I need a moment to breathe. So take it. Give yourself permission to get lost. Not lost in distractions, not lost in the noise, but lost in a way that allows you to return to yourself. There is power in stepping away. Think about the last time you truly disconnected. No screens, no obligations, no expectations, just you and your thoughts and the world around you. At first, it's going to feel uncomfortable. When the noise fades, you're left with nothing but yourself. And for some people, that's terrifying. But if you sit with it long enough, clarity begins to rise. You begin to remember what matters. You begin to see what's been weighing you down. And you realize that half the things you were stressing over weren't even worth your energy. It's time to regroup, recenter, and return stronger. The people who change their lives are the ones who dare to step away long enough to reimagine what's possible. The best ideas, the boldest decisions, the deepest insights, they don't come when you're drowning in daily tasks. They come in the stillness. They come when you're out in nature, when you're traveling alone, when you're journaling at sunrise, or when you allow yourself to breathe without an agenda. And when you return different. You return clearer. You return ready. Sometimes the only way to find your path is to lose sight of everything else for a little while. Your reset is waiting. You don't need permission. You don't need an excuse. You don't need to justify why you're taking time for yourself. You just need to do it. Disappear for an hour, a day, or a week, whatever you choose. Book that solo trip. Turn off your phone. Drive with no destination. Let the world wonder where you've gone while you rediscover who you are. And when you come back, you won't be just rested. You'll be realigned. You may feel lost right now. That's okay. It just means it's time for this. I strongly recommend you get lost so you can find yourself again. We've all been there, sitting on an idea, a dream, or a goal, waiting for the stars to align, for everything to be just right. And we tell ourselves, I'll start when I'm ready. I'll start when it's perfect. But let me tell you something, if you're waiting for perfect, you'll be waiting forever. I remember my first attempts, my early videos, the rough drafts, the projects I now look back on and cringe. The sound was bad, my delivery was awkward. I stumbled over my words and over myself. But here's what matters. I started. Because starting isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to show up as you are, willing to try, willing to learn and improve as you go. That's how greatness begins, not with perfection, but with action. We've all seen someone who's incredible at what they do, like a speaker or an athlete, an entrepreneur, and we think, wow, they were born for this. But what we don't see are the messy beginnings, their struggles, the awkward starts they had, the years of trial and error before they ever got good. No one starts as a master. No one. Every great success story begins the same way, with a decision to begin, imperfectly, boldly, and sometimes clumsily. You see, starting is where the magic happens. It's where you take an idea that's living in your head and breathe life into it. Starting creates momentum. It builds confidence. It moves you forward, even if the steps are small. But if you wait, if you tell yourself, I'll start when I'm ready, you're robbing yourself of the chance to grow. You're letting fear win. And here's the thing about fear, it's a liar. Fear tells you that you're not good enough, that you'll fail, that people will judge you. But fear forgets to mention that the only way to get better is to begin. So let this be a reminder. Start now. Start scared. Start messy. Start imperfect. Write the book, even if the first words are awful. Post the video, even if the editing isn't perfect. Step on stage, even if your voice shakes. Launch the business even if you're not sure how it will go. Because perfection is a myth, and progress comes with action. You adjust, you improve, you get better along the way. It's like the sculptor working with a rough block of stone. If they waited for the perfect vision of the final masterpiece before touching the tools, nothing would ever be created. Instead, they chip away at it, bit by bit, until beauty emerges. Well, you're the sculptor. Your dream is the masterpiece, but you can't shape it until you pick up the tools and get to work. Stop waiting. Stop overthinking. The starting line is right in front of you, and the only thing you need to do is take one step. That's it. One small, imperfect step forward. Because in a year from now, you won't regret the mistakes you made while trying. You'll regret not starting sooner. So whatever it is that's been living inside you, start now. Your future self will thank you for the courage to begin. I guarantee you've made excuses at some point in your life. They whisper comfort in your ears, shielding you from risk, failure, and the unknown. But where have they gotten you? Have they moved you closer to the life you want? Or have they held you back, shackling your potential and leaving your dreams to gather dust? Excuses aren't just words. They're self-imposed barriers. They sound like, I don't have the time, or I'm not ready, or even worse, I'll start tomorrow. But excuses are lies we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. And comfort, my friends, is the silent killer of growth. Imagine for a moment that you stripped away every excuse. What would your world look like if you took ownership of every decision, every failure, and every triumph? How unstoppable could you be? Your power lies in responsibility. It's where transformation begins. Stop waiting for a savior, a sign, or the perfect moment. Understand that no one is coming to save you. Your dreams are yours to achieve, and your life is yours to build. You hold the pen, and every day you write your story. So will it be a tale of excuses and regrets, or one of resilience and triumph? When you blame your circumstances, your past, or others for where you are, you're giving away your power. But when you take responsibility, you reclaim it. You tell the world, I'm in charge here, and I will create the life I want. That's when the magic begins. Excuses thrive in a mind focused on problems. So flip the switch. Instead of saying, I can't because, start asking, how can I? Every time you look for a solution, you expand your possibilities. Every time you focus on what you can do rather than what you can't, you take a step forward. Progress begins with perspective. Some people say they're waiting for the right time, but let me tell you something, there is no perfect time. Life will never present a moment wrapped in a bow with a tag that says, now is your time. You create that moment. You take messy, imperfect action and figure it out along the way. Because the truth is, the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is right now. Success isn't handed out like a party favor. It's earned through effort, persistence, and a refusal to quit. You're going to face obstacles. You're going to stumble, but every stumble is a lesson. Every obstacle an opportunity to grow stronger. What matters isn't how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. Commit to the process. Commit to doing the hard things. Commit to yourself. Take a hard look at the people around you. Are they lifting you up or holding you down? Surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and refuse to let you settle for less than your best. The energy you absorb shapes the life you create. Choose wisely. I know excuses are comforting, but they're also the chains holding you back from the life you deserve. You don't need more time, more resources, or more permission. You need more action. You need to step into your power and decide that you're done playing small. What are you going to do today to take back control of your life? How will you show up for yourself? Not tomorrow, not someday, but today. Because everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of your excuses. No more excuses. No more waiting. It's time to act. Your life is waiting for you to claim it. Go make it happen. What's your morning routine? Now, it's something that might seem small, but let me tell you, how you start your day can have a huge impact on everything that follows. Imagine this: you wake up, hit the snooze button a few times, then you rush through the morning in a panic. You're already behind, stressed, and unfocused. Does that sound familiar? Now imagine waking up with intention. You have a plan. You know what's important, and you start your day on your terms. That's the difference a morning routine makes. Why does it matter so much? Because the way you spend those first few hours sets the tone for the entire day. It's like the foundation of a house. If it's strong, everything else has a solid base to stand on. If it's shaky, the whole day feels like it could fall apart. But more than that, a morning routine is a form of self-discipline. And discipline leads to success. When you choose to take control of your morning, you're choosing to take control of your life. You're telling yourself, I'm in charge of my day, not the other way around. So how can you create a morning routine that sets you up for success? Here's a few simple but powerful tools that you can use starting right away. First, wake up early. This one might sound obvious, but it's critical. Waking up even 30 minutes earlier than usual can make a big difference. It gives you time to breathe, plan, and focus before the world starts demanding things from you. You're creating space to set your mind right. Second, move your body. You don't need to run a marathon, but get your body moving, whether it's stretching, yoga, a quick workout, or even a walk. Getting your blood flowing will wake you up and energize you. Physical movement is a great way to clear your mind and get yourself in a positive state. Third, try some mindfulness or a quick meditation. Take a few minutes to do a self-check-in. It doesn't have to be long, just 5-10 minutes of focusing on your breathing or centering your thoughts can make a huge difference. This will help you set up the day with clarity and intention, rather than letting the chaos of the world control your mind. Number 4, set your priorities. Plan out your top 3 priorities for the day, or what I call the must-do list. What are the things you must accomplish? When you have a clear focus, you're far more likely to be productive and stay on track. So write them down and commit to getting them done. Number 5, fuel your body and mind. Feed your body with nutritious food and feed your mind with something positive, whether it's reading a chapter from a book, listening to a podcast, or simply thinking of a few things you're grateful for. Start the day with something that fuels you, both physically and mentally. No, I'm not saying you need to do all of these things every single morning. The key is to create a routine that works for you. Something that gets you into the right mindset. It gives you energy and it helps you focus on what matters most. Remember, success doesn't happen by accident. It happens through consistent action. And that action starts the moment you wake up. If you want to be productive, If you want to move forward in life, it starts with how you choose to begin each day. So take control of your mornings. Build a routine that empowers you. Don't leave your day up to chance. Start strong and you'll finish strong. You know, we're emotional beings. Some days we're up, other days we're down. Sometimes we can break through barriers, while other times we're too weak to get off the couch. We can feel powerful, then in an instant we can be triggered and feel overwhelmed. I mean, what's going on with our emotions? Why can't we seem to control our inner feelings? And why do we have so many down times? Really, in a single day, you can experience the full range of emotions from highs to lows. How you feel internally is directly related to your external factors, but that's not where the power lies. Where it all begins is with your state, or in other words, your state of mind. When you're in a happy, positive state, the emotions that flow are generally aligned with your positivity. Hence, you act positive, you think positive, and you feel positive. In this state, life's good, and all the outside forces are filtered through this positive lens. But let's look at an example of the opposite that we can all relate to. What's your state first thing in the morning? Are you positive and ready to go? Energized? Unlikely. Most people will start the day in a low activation state. That's why they feel sluggish, maybe grumpy. This experience is being filtered by that low activation state, and our emotions are following. See, how you interpret the world is through your state. It's not the outside factors that affect you. It's how you're filtering these things. So if we want to feel more positive and energetic, it stands to reason that we need to get ourselves into a positive and energetic state. Well, easier said than done. As I mentioned earlier, we tend to drift into negative much easier than positive. We blame the outside world, but again, how we view the outside world is through the lens of our state. So the real issue is, how do we get ourselves into positive states more often? Our brain's default system is to see what's going wrong or what's lacking. And when you're looking for problems, well, guess what? You're going to find them everywhere. You don't even have to look for them because they're fed to you from all directions. Whether it's the news or gossip or social feeds, there's negativity coming at you from everywhere. And the more we focus on all this stuff, the worse we feel. Our emotions come from this negative state, which is filtering all this information. So no wonder the population thinks the world is bad. Look at what we're being fed. So here's the thing. We don't control the outside forces. We only control how we interpret the forces, which requires that I control my state if I want to keep in a positive mood. All right, there's two ways to do it. First, focus on the positive. Be grateful for what you have. What you look for, you'll find. And second, change your physiology. Get up, get moving, feed or strengthen your body, and you'll start to feel better. Remember, it's all about getting yourself into a better state so that you can filter the world and your emotions will follow. Have you ever noticed how the smallest of actions can lead to the most incredible changes in your life? Imagine you're standing at the edge of a vast forest, the towering trees representing the obstacles between you and your goals or your dreams. It's overwhelming, isn't it? But what if I told you that the key to navigating this forest isn't about taking giant leaps, but rather it's making subtle, intentional steps? Let me share the story of a young man with a common goal that many of us can relate to. Thomas was a former athlete, and he fell out of shape after entering the business world. He was upset with himself for allowing himself to get out of shape, and he hated the way he looked. But more importantly, he hated the way he felt. So he decided it was time to make some changes. But he was overwhelmed by the thought of starting with a full workout session. So instead of setting grandiose goals that seemed out of reach, he decided to make small, subtle changes. He began by dedicating just 10 minutes each morning to exercise. 10 minutes, that's all. At first, 10 minutes felt insignificant. But as the days passed, Thomas noticed something remarkable. Those 10 minutes grew into 20 and then 30. His stamina improved. His confidence soared, and he was loving his new physique. The key wasn't in the grand gestures, but in the consistent, tiny actions that compounded over time. There's the famous line that I'm sure you've heard before that says, "The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step." This wisdom holds true for every area of our lives. The journey to your dreams, the path to self-improvement, begins not with the giant leaps, but with one small, deliberate step. Think about your own life for a moment. Is there something you've been putting off because the task seems too daunting? Perhaps it's learning a new skill, adopting a healthier lifestyle, or working towards a personal goal. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, start small. Take that first step. It might be just 5 minutes of focused work, a short walk, or a single page of a book. See yourself in the future, where you want to be, who you want to become. Identify as the person you'll be when those small changes have compounded into something significant. The journey starts now, and it's within your power to take that first step. Remember that transformation begins with the decision that something must change, and it must change now. So if you're in agreement, what's going to be your first step? How will you begin your journey today? Embrace the power of small changes and watch how they create a ripple effect, leading to extraordinary outcomes. The path to success starts with that one small step. Let's make today